Kia ora and warm greetings. Thank you for joining us on Baha'i On Air. In the Baha'i faith, we believe everyone is valuable and can bring peace and unity in the world. No age is more important than that of the junior youth. Baha'is define this age as being between 12 to 15. All over the world, Baha'is and their friends gather these groups of junior youth to study spiritual writings, discuss social ills, and serve their communities. Those adults and older teenagers working with junior youth are called animators, and these groups are called the Junior Youth Empowerment Program. It was first developed in the mid-1990s at the Baha'i World Center in Haifa, Israel. Their Social and Economic Development Office was assigned to help certain areas in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Their goal was to promote literacy between the youth. The result was the Junior Youth Empowerment Program. And from then on, it has become available in every country since 2006. Baha'i On Air and many other media outlets have focused on these programs. They speak with animators and junior youth on what this program is like and why it is so important. In this special episode of Baha'i On Air, we will see different groups from New Zealand, Malaysia, the United States, Vanuatu, Samoa, and many other countries as they share their stories and experiences.
The junior high years are the worst possible years for any human being to live through. And those are the greatest challenges, I think.
I think that the junior youth group is particularly important for this age group of kids because they're within that sort of awkward age bracket, I guess you could say, from moving out of childhood, but they're not quite fully realised like adults or older teenagers.
The perceptions that are created in society almost box the junior youth into believing it themselves. So when society says that junior youth are just troubled and confused because of all of the physical changes that they're going through, they believe it. And that's probably why there are contradictions in their thoughts, which are quite elevated, and their actions.
And so it's within this period of time where there's quite a lot of emotional, a lot of physical change going on in their lives, and also where they're trying to figure out for themselves, I guess, who they are, what they're about, what they believe in.
A number of epidemiological studies have shown that with respect to depression, anxiety, hopelessness, suicide, alcohol abuse, mental illness in general, the rates are increasing dramatically amongst young people.
Baha'i faith says that young people actually have the most power to change the world.
They have an inherent sense of justice. They want to change the world to make it a better place. And if we're not careful, if we don't nourish that and we don't support it and empower them to be who they are intended to be, then that fire may die.
Some examples that I see with the youth is their ability to be an individual, but at the same time to be able to still maintain a social life.
11 to 14 is a really dynamic age where the individual has so much energy and so much capacity to contribute. And what these junior youth empowerment programs really aim to do is to channel that energy towards a means that focuses on equipping those junior youth with the skills that they would need to further contribute to their own individual growth and the change of the community around them.
It's not simply a time in which youth have to kind of be contained until they are ready to render service. The idea that if we treat youth with the proper degree of respect, if we provide them with the proper tools, that they are ready today to play their role in the development of a healthy community life.
You know, they have ideas and opinions that are just as valuable, just as worthy as anyone else you may meet.
I think that they just have so much energy that it's all about focusing that energy towards positive action.
If these young people arise to serve, as so many of them are as they go through this process, then they're going to make different kinds of decisions and they're going to make connections with people in ways that allow them to embrace the oneness of humanity rather than to embrace the old, ineffective patterns of the past.
The challenges at this age group, there's a lot of negative pressures pushing them.
Some difficult situations are like temptations.
One of the greatest challenges for someone my age is peer pressure.
Texting, gossip on text.
The most common would probably be the media.
Or even older peers and adults are trying to take them down the wrong path.
À Lubumbashi, beaucoup de très jeunes ne sont pas scolarisés. Et ça fait qu'ils errent ça et là et ils adoptent des comportements qu'ils rencontrent dans l'environnement. Et maintenant, ce programme vient répondre aux besoins de cette communauté. C'est grâce aux concepts qui sont développés, notamment le double idéal moral, comment on se transforme et on transforme en même temps la société, que ces jeunes parviennent à bâtir une structure morale solide dans leur tête. Ça leur façonne leur vie. Ils ont une autre manière de voir le monde et ils savent comment faire la différence.
Some people seem to think that teenagers are just people who play video games.
Where a bunch of youth would be like drinking.
We just sit back and relax and watch TV.
Not really concerned with how the world is, but just taking influence from it.
Really negative thought on the junior youth.
Oh, they're not mature enough, they can't handle this properly.
This age has been identified to be an age of transition.
A time where a lot of changes are happening.
If we direct their energies towards positive change, then hopefully the rest of their lives will be directed towards the positive transformation of society.
We're the new generation and we're going to be contributing to the world when we grow up.
The junior youth programs are for kids from every background.
You know, it focuses on principles that are true to all religions. Spiritual development isn't something that's talked about in the outside world, but it's who we are. You know, we are innately spiritual beings.
These programs aim to bring out the spiritual nature of youth and empower them to serve in their communities.
No matter where you go in the world, there will be junior youth groups run wherever there are Baha'i communities, because the program is Baha'i inspired. And so the great thing is that there are groups running all over New Zealand, there are groups running all over Australia, all over America, etc. Just all around the world, there will be junior youth groups going on and happening.
No hacemos mucha diferencia de quién es Baha'i y quién no es Baha'i. Actuamos juntos.
Por medio de todas las actividades que realizamos, la idea es que trabajemos unidos y no haya ninguna diferencia entre nosotros, que como comunidad podamos trabajar y siempre llevar una civilización en continuo progreso.
La revelación de Baha'u'lláh, su propósito para la humanidad finalmente pues es crear una nueva civilización. Uno de esos propósitos tiene que ver con la transformación individual, ¿no? Pero también está el otro propósito, transformar la sociedad o el medio ambiente en que vive, ¿no? Entonces es un doble propósito y siempre están juntos.
You know, the junior youth is here to help kids that have these problems sometimes.
We talk about positive stuff only, we don't do negative, like it's just positive. Well, like we talk about what difference we can make in the world, and we try to help. We do community service.
We've actually gone into, well,
I'm just one person, what can I really do for my community? But by getting them out there and actually influencing things within their community, it gives them more of a sense of ownership and empowerment within their community.
It feels good to help the community.
We are the future, and we need a little help to find our way.
If you have just started watching our program on Baha'i on Air, we are looking at a Baha'i-inspired program called the Junior Youth Empowerment Program that helps teens and preteens build their capacities within themselves to help their communities. These programs combine a series of books and service projects. Take a look as we explain these two activities.
So the books, they comprise of a vocabulary comprehension part and a story. And so the story usually is based around a key theme, which will be like a virtue like friendship or hope. And we read through the story and we discuss what the story may mean and how it might relate to the wider context of life. And then we go through comprehension. That's really just to try and, you know, get a little bit of education in, aside from schoolwork, and yeah, we find that really helps. And it also helps them to understand these qualities and ideas better. And then we also do like a complementary activity which sort of takes that virtual quality and we incorporate it into like a game. So there's cooperative games. We have to work together to get a result rather than every man for himself.
You're looking at books called Breezes of Confirmation, which is looking specifically or looking at the concepts of confirmation in God and how we can have reliance and trust and put our trust in God.
So, can someone read for me what this book says? Tuva. Breezes of Confirmation, right. And what this book is it's a story about a junior youth much like you guys. So it's a 13-year-old girl named Musanda. And we're gonna read about some experiences that she's had. It'll help us ask some of these questions that I think we're all facing. Questions about what we want to do with our life, you know, how can we best be of service to humankind.
Then it then looks at Glimmerings of Hope, where we're following a boy in Africa who is from a war-torn country, and that book, I guess, is more looking at hope in the face of difficulties and how unity is really the answer to getting rid of conflict and strife. So throughout his journey he comes to that realization at the end of the book, and so throughout we look at different scenarios, different concepts that surround, I guess, unity and diversity, and surround having that reliance on God, having hope in the face of difficulties. One of the things that you look at is there's a farmer who has a bunch of crops. He has a bunch of employees. So you have to work out, the math element is that you have to work out how much he pays them and how much profit he makes. And then from there you figure out, well, is the amount of money that he pays his employees just? So you're looking at both the intellectual side of it, but then you're also looking at that spiritual, moral side, and that's what I really love about these books and about this program.
And it's pretty hard for even us as animators and coordinators. It's good because you find out that the kids know way more than you, and it's awesome because they remind you of what you should be studying. You should never forget about school.
Then also we look at a book called Spirit of Faith. That book is looking more, I guess, at Baha'i education. It's talking more specifically about Baha'i principles, and in this book it's really focusing on our own true identity and the elements that come with figuring that out. And so we look at, you know, free will, we're looking at destiny, we're looking at evolution, so it's quite scientifically based as well. And we're looking at what the spirit of faith means as well, and looking more deeply at the concepts of spirit and how that applies to us as human beings.
The Baha'i writings were a protection for me. You know, it let me know that I had a higher purpose to serve. You know, that I didn't have to fit in with everybody. If I didn't want to, it didn't really matter being cool or not being cool, because the goal is just to love everybody and to work with everybody.
Well, my favorite thing about youth group is learning virtues and mostly the lollies.
Cool. Well, what's some of your favorite stuff?
My favorite thing is doing the craft.
You like doing the craft stuff that we do? Cool.
De confirmation du Bartonesha comment découvrir ma talent non kufa effort du monde confirmé.
L'hiver des soirs il touché parce que comme tout mar potesha papa wake mais comme konana na bantu akwa na espoir kuku batoto bengine na bo bakpotesha papa yabo abana na espoir donc miezi na ambia ule mtoto arifisha papa wake na anaweza kupata la foi.
Moi aussi, je comprends que dans la vie, il faut essayer de surmonter n'importe quelle épreuve. Il faut avoir toujours le courage.
Community service is an essential component of all junior youth groups. The teens devise their own plans, thereby becoming conscious contributors to their own neighborhoods. During one recent service project, the junior youth made gifts and delivered them to the neighbors. After each service project, they reflect on what they've learned from the experience.
All right, okay. Whatever team wants to answer this one, question 2. Okay, go ahead, sweetheart. How did you feel about the visit?
We was grateful for their presence. We felt good about ourselves.
You felt good about yourself. That's a good thing to feel.
And then the last question is, what did you get out of it? And every one of them said respect. They felt respected by the people in the neighborhood. They weren't just the hoodlum kid running down the street anymore. They were somebody who was actually doing something to help the neighborhood become better. And that's what they got out of it.
If you go around acting respectful to people, most likely they'll catch on to it and they'll act respectful to people too.
And the most important part is our service project. For example, they'll clean the neighborhood or they will clean the drainage system. So we actually guide them, but we do not give them the activities. They actually choose their own activities to do. So when we do this, the community actually observes us. And as they observe, they will feel curious and they'll start asking us, what are we doing? So we have the opportunity to share to them, and we will make this a community building process.
Junior youth have a lot of capacity. They can help to build the community, and adults too will realize and join us. And so it won't be a one-way process, it will be both ways, where everybody will come together and join the service projects and maybe have more ideas and more plans for the community. There is not only physical transformation, but also spiritual transformation in the whole community.
We want to think of something that we can do together for our community. Does anyone have any ideas about what we could do?
We can provide service to our community. Service is very important because it helps others and at the same time it builds your character.
Kuna maaktivite ingine ile tunafanya kama kuangalia malari, kutengeneza mafashi ile kuchafu tunatengeneza.
Le projet de service, c'est la concrétisation de tout ce qu'ils sont en train d'apprendre. Évidemment, au début, on commence avec un projet de service simple, mais c'est au fur et à mesure, en accompagnant, que vous êtes en train de voir comment l'animateur aide les pré-jeunes à planifier un projet de service complexe. Au fur et à mesure, vous voyez comment finalement ils commencent à faire des campagnes de sensibilisation pour lutter contre un environnement malsain.
Tunafanya ni projet de service ya groupe de pré-jeunes. Tunapenda michi juu bilulu bishikure ishipate kuanguka. Hii michi inatusaidia, inatupa mafri, inatupa oxygène, inatupa kimvuri, inatuprotege contre mavent intempérie, mavent ya nguvu, ndio pale tunaipenda.
Notre groupe de pré-jeunes a organisé un projet de service On a sensibilisé les enfants de notre quartier pour venir ici et on les apprend une classe d'enfants.
I like service because it makes me feel like I'm doing something for the world. I'm adding a little bit of me into what I do to make the world better.
And we do that to sort of make a community bond, try and bring communities closer together as we realise this is important in this day and age. My JY, Junior Youth, most of them are situated out Henderson, Waitakere way, and they've been involved in what's called the Twin Streams project, and that's where they go and they replant the stream that's out those ways that doesn't have much native planting around it. And so we've done about 4 weekends or 4 Saturdays of planting native shrubs along the banks just to revitalise the native population and start new ecosystems.
We had a service project that the Junior Youth came up with. They wanted to pick up rubbish all over, not just one street, but just wherever they could find it within a certain amount of time. And it got to the point where it became competitive and kids were just running around, grabbing, cleaning, doing whatever they can as we walk along. And we came across a house that belongs to one of the Junior Youth. And his mum came out and his mum asked a question, Shione, how come you can clean out there, but how come you don't clean our house or our front yard? And then his response was, Mum, that's different. That's different, Mum, this is changing the world. That's just chores. So that was his response.
I'm Grace and I'm 14.
Hi, I'm Mary and I'm 14.
I'm Clara and I'm 14 years old.
We are a junior youth empowerment group in North Minneapolis for youth ages 12 to 15. Our group name is Service Agents.
I think that what we're doing has to start small because we can't just go out there and just, conquer the world in just one blow. We have to start with our community, then go to our city, then go to the world.
We had heard about the Can Do Girls Club and we wanted to get involved with them. So we decided that having a Halloween party would be a good way to get started in getting to know these girls so that we can start becoming sort of like mentors to the girls group.
The Can Do Girls is a different group in this neighborhood, and they're girls mostly ages 5 through 10, and we're hoping to do more things with them.
The junior youth of 2 local communities, 2 local Baha'i communities came together to raise funds. They went to collect coffee beans, which were dried, and later they will be sold to raise funds to send members of the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of Vanuatu to offer to Haifa next year to elect the Supreme Governing Council of the Baha'i faith in Israel. Because it's very expensive, the junior youth contribute in raising the funds.
El servicio es la base del programa. A través del servicio es que ellos van a realmente desarrollar todas esas cualidades y talentos que tienen, ¿no? A través de los proyectos de servicio ellos pueden tener impactos en la comunidad.
Comprometemos a las personas para que coloquen las basuras en las canecas porque hay muchas contaminaciones de basura y enfermedades. Y es muy importante tener un ambiente limpio y sin contaminación.
Cuando nosotros prestamos servicio es como si estuviéramos ayudando a algún familiar, sea cualquiera de esta comunidad. Pues ya que nos nace de corazón y queremos que toda esta comunidad se sienta bien atendida por nosotros.
We're here at Albert Park, and the messages we've written are mostly from people we admire or famous people who have written quotes, like Albert Einstein. So we put them around benches and trees and around lampposts and in the university campus. We hope that they can read them and feel happy about their day. Yeah, it's been fun with Luke for the past 3 weeks because he's funny and stuff.
You son are the truth. You remember that bit on X Factor when he told that guy Renee that? Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go to the art gallery. So we're about to head off to the art gallery and maybe try and find some inspiration ourselves and maybe one day become the next Picasso or Banksy or Madonna.
The junior youth group that I'm animating in, we've just did a service project. They wanted to show the community what healthy eating was and what's diabetes and how they can prevent it.
These ones on the bottom is what you should do every day. Here's what you should do 3 to 5 times a week.
Lots of people don't eat healthy now.
And a lot of people have diabetes, which is a big concern. Like, many of our parents have diabetes. So we want to put an end to it.
So today we're helping out with the Auckland City Council No Graffiti project. And what we're doing is basically we're volunteering to help our community and beautifying it and helping solve problems regarding vandalism, etc. And so we're coming down to Maroondah Reserve today with support from Auckland City Council and the Auckland Baha'i community to basically clean up graffiti.
And you having fun?
Absolutely! Oh my goodness, yes. It's fun.
Are you guys having fun? Do you think everyone should be helping the community?
Yeah. I mean, like, most of the people in our community just sit on their thumbs.
Yeah, this is service with a smile.
Junior youth are doing a lot of nice things for the neighborhood, like cleaning parks, which is something really basic, but actually does a lot for a neighborhood, you know, so yeah, I really like it.
These Baha'i-inspired youth empowerment programs can be found in every country around the world. If you are interested in learning more about these programs, please contact the Baha'is in your local community. Please join us next time as we continue to look at more Baha'i-inspired youth programs. Ka kita anō.